Good morning. I'm County Judge Richard F. Cortez, Chairman of the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1. On March the 16th of 2020, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by the Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, to temporarily suspend and limit the number of open meeting laws to the extent necessary to allow telephonic or video conference meetings in response to this COVID-19 matter. In accordance with those suspended rules, notice of this meeting of the Board of Directors for the Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the board are not gathered in a central physical location, we will have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The board is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communications for members of the public during the public participation forum. This meeting is being broadcast live and online. As we would on any other in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice will be permitted to participate in the public forum portion of this agenda. If you would like to participate in the public forum at a future meeting conducted by video conference or telephone call, please follow the instructions that are posted on the meeting notice. All other meeting procedures will adhere to the board adopted procedures to the extent possible. We apologize in advance for any unforeseeable technical difficulties, and we ask for your patience as we navigate through these unprecedented conditions. The time is now 9:47, and we will begin with a roll call with Precinct 1.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Catu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Okay, you're on mute, Commissioner 4.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge, that constitutes a quorum. Mr. Cecine, would you please lead us in prayer?
Sure. Lord, we thank you for another beautiful day. I ask that you keep our county and district families safe during these times. I ask that you grant hope, health, and healing to all in need. Bless this board as they work together to make the best decisions for our county. May we each recognize every opportunity to pass your blessings on to others every day. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, did we have anyone sign up for open forum?
No, Judge, nobody signed up for open forum for drainage.
Okay. Then the next item is your approval of the consent agenda. Does any item need to be taken out of the consent agenda?
Judge, we just have the approval of check register and renewal of some title companies and payments that have been reviewed by accounting and engineering. Everything's in order. We recommend approval, sir.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Yes, sir. Item 5A, requesting approval of memorandum of understanding between Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and the City of Wesco as it relates to Hidalgo County Drainage District 1 Phase 1 Flood Control Project. Application submitted to Water Bill on June 14, 2020, pending final review. It's just an MOU with the city, one of our partners, keeping them abreast of what progresses in our application and so forth. And you know, if we get the award and so forth, keeping them informed of it. So we recommend approval.
Move.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
5B, requesting approval upon negotiated professional service agreement number CAT 120-03107 with LNG Consulting Engineers, Inc., DBL and LNG Engineers relates to professional construction material testing services on call on SC to base documentation on 1 project's approved negotiations by the Board of Directors on agenda item 75746, subject to legal review compliance House Bill 1295. Has been made.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
6A, requesting approval to accept bid and award construction contract lowest and best bidder meeting all specified requirements, RFP number ACD 120-0090624, South Lateral Drain Improvements, Phase 1, McCall Road, excuse me, to San Juan Road, 2018 bond referendum project 34, in total amount of $993,040.78 to Council Enterprises LLC as recommended project engineer LNG Engineering, subject to legal approval and compliance with House Bill 1295.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item 2, pursuant to local on code 262031 and interest expedited project's progress, requesting authority approval for drainage general manager to execute change orders that involve an increase or decrease in cost of $50,000 or less, in no event exceed the change order statutory limits. The original contract price may not be decreased by 2% or more by the consent of the contract.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
7A, requesting authority to advertise and approve a competitive bid seal proposal packet requiring specifications and plans developed by ACD1 project engineer Noe Salivad for Downtown Drainage Unit 1 Delta Regional Water Management Project, Sanchitas Detention Pond, 2013 bond series CSP number ACD1 20-038-0729, including the re-advertisement of the project in the event no responses are received and or rejected and project is still required.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
When opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8A, requesting approval of North Alamo Water Supply Corporation crossing consent agreements related to J14 drainage project subject to final review. We're crossing a North Alamo water line in one of our projects, and part of the requirement is to get this crossing permit. So we ask for approval.
Move for
Move for
approval.
approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
8B, discussion and approval of document additional one, a resolution recognizing necessity of acquiring easements or right-of-ways or fee title in connection with the construction of Inspiration Road Drainage Improvement Project in Dow County, Texas, and authorizing the acquisition of said easements or rights-of-way fee title described in resolution exhibits thereto by condemnation, eminent domain, or otherwise. Single vote shall apply to all units of property described in said resolution, subject to final legal review.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do we need to go into a closed session, Lowood?
We do have 2 small items, Judge.
Okay, pursuant to subchapter D of chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, we're going to be retiring into closed session to discuss those items. In closed session, should any action to be taken, will be taken in open session when we return. May I have a motion to retire to closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Okay, we're back from closed session. I believe we do have some action items.
Yes, 10A, possible action real estate acquisition. We would like for the board to approve action as discussed in executive session.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
10B, nothing to report.
Okay, well, I think that concludes all of our agenda items. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. We're going to move into our Commissioners Court meeting now. Good morning. I am County Judge Richard F. Cortez. On March the 16th of 2020, Governor Greg Abbott granted a request by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton to temporarily suspend and limit the number of open meeting laws to the extent necessary to allow telephonic or video conference meetings in response to this COVID-19 matter. In accordance with those suspended rules, notice of this meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court has been posted online for at least 72 hours. Although members of the commission are not gathered in a central physical location, we will have a quorum in attendance at this meeting by video conference or telephone call. The commission is meeting by the use of Zoom software and telephone transmission, which allows two-way communication from members of the public during the public participation forum. This meeting is being broadcast live online. As we would in any other in-person meeting, members of the public who have followed the instructions on the meeting notice will be permitted to participate in the public forum portion of this agenda. If you would like to participate in a public forum at a future meeting conducted by video conference or telephone call, please follow the instructions on the posted meeting notice. All other meeting procedures will adhere to board adopted procedures, and this to the extent possible. We apologize in advance for any unforeseeable technical difficulties and ask for your patience as we navigate through this unprecedented conditions. It is now 10:03, and we'll begin with a roll call with precinct 1.
David Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Eddie Cantu, Precinct 2.
Joe Flores, Precinct 3.
Ellie Torres, Precinct 4.
Richard Cortez, County Judge, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of good health and peace that we have enjoyed for so many years. As we find ourselves in this time of crisis, we ask for your divine intervention and mercy to be upon each of us. Come and guide the minds of those working to discover a treatment for this COVID-19 virus. Grant them wisdom, knowledge, and clarity of mind so that all peoples will be free from the threat of this disease. We also pray for the healthcare workers that are standing in the front line of this battle. Father, we thank you for their hearts of service, putting the needs of society before their own, and generously responding to the cry of your people. We ask you will grant them strength and protect as they give themselves in selfless service. You may fill them with your Holy Spirit as they work to be your healing hands and feet. Father, we also surrender to you those who have been afflicted with this virus. Grant them your healing grace, merciful Father, so they may recover swiftly and continue to witness of your love in their lives. Mother Mary, we ask for your intercession in this great time of need. Cover each of us with your blue mantle of protection so that we may be preserved in good health to continue to glorify your Son, Jesus Christ. We make this prayer through Christ, our Savior and Redeemer. Amen. Are there any items to be pulled out of the consent agenda?
No, sir, I believe everything is in order. Well, yes.
Judge, if you could please hold, I think we lost some of our commissioners. Looks like they had a disconnect.
Okay. Oh, yes. Judge, we will have consent agenda item 10F pulled. I'll make an announcement on it.
Okay.
Judge, did you want to call a brief recess while I wait for everyone to join back in?
I mean, is that really necessary? I can just say recess. We have no commissioners.
Right.
We take a vote. Are we still live?
Yes, sir. We're still live.
Okay. Everybody, please bear with us. We're having some technical problems. We're trying to get all the commissioners back very quickly.
Brief recess.
Okay. Then for the record, I have 70 minutes after 10. We're going to recess for technical difficulties that we're having. We are at recess. Okay, we're back from recess. We apologize for that. We're having some technical problems. We're about to address the approved consent agenda, and I believe we have one item to be removed.
Yes, sir, Judge. If we could pull consent agenda item 10F.
Okay. I have a motion to approve the remaining
I make the
part of the
motion.
consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, consent agenda item 10F, the Accord Certificate of Liability Insurance forms for all the listed vendors will be attached and submitted to the appropriate departments, including the auditor's office. I'm asking the court to approve consent agenda item 10F with that disclosure.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I believe we have two people that signed up for open forum.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Fern. There is a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there is 1 minute, and I will start when you begin.
Commissioners, I know you must wonder why I keep coming to speak, even when it's obvious that not one of you is listening. I come to speak because I want the people to know that someone is trying to stop your runaway spending. I think you're spending on the courthouse, all this that you've spent, and our moral staff are going to give you a problem that you cannot hide. The arrival of this virus combined with the shelter-in-place orders emphasize your participation in increasing poverty, and your only salvation is the feds to give you more money. Before this virus hit, the poverty rate was around 40%. What is going to happen if the businesses are still being closed and somewhat closed or a little bit opened? How about 50 to 60%? How does that sound? The straw that broke the camel's back is the action of the appraisal district. How are people going to shelter in place and pay higher taxes? People are already feeling the stress because of the $360 million for the courthouse and the $190 million for drainage. In Edinburgh, there's the $30 million for drainage. And now the mayor Farr wants to build a $25 million swimming pool. And Farr, the project proposed by the mayor will cost an estimate $97 million because it also includes the school. In Hidalgo County, the county, the cities, and school district are all participating in creating poverty because interest rates are low. Let's spend, spend, spend. Elected officials are spending at faster rate than the people can afford. All elected officials talk about poverty, but few people know that the result of the overspending by elected officials. When school children are encouraged to pick up grab bags for breakfast and lunch because they do not have food at home, we all need to listen and start paying attention. The solution to this condition of poverty is not more spending.
1 minute.
I know I have said this before, but I come to speak because people are listening to you, and they know that if you abstain from voting, it is because you have a vested interest. That is the polite way of saying that in some way you make a profit. People are calling about that. I have several items that I have on the agenda items. I have 8F, which is hiring 2 people at $51,084. Another one, $40,552. 13A is late fees. I don't understand. Maybe y'all need to hire someone in that department, because why are we having late fees? $85,066.59, $36,146.29. My God, at that price, you could hire someone to take care of it. We don't quite understand about 13B, it's court reporter, $149,398.
Ms. Fern, 3 minutes.
14A2, we're trying to find out on
Ms.
here.
Fern?
Yes.
It's
Well,
3
I
minutes.
also have time for the agenda items to question, don't I?
3 minutes, ma'am, as a total.
You need to put that on the paperwork because it doesn't show that.
It does, ma'am. Thank you.
You're supposed to have it separate.
You ready? Yes, there's a 3-minute time limit, and I will advise when there is 1 minute, and I will begin when you begin.
Well, I hope there'll be maybe a little courtesy go beyond 3 minutes, but that's okay. Hi, my name is Jim Darling. I'm the Mayor of the City of McAllen. And Judge and Commissioners, thank you for letting me be before you. First off, I'd like to comment, Commissioner Elliott, thank you for what you do every night and give me the numbers I could submit to my commission. I really appreciate that courtesy. I'm here to talk about the CARES Act and the funding as it relates to several items. I looked on your agenda and there are 4 or 5 items. It was hard to determine exactly what those funds were for. I can talk about the hospital aid that's been proposed. You know, we met as a large city coalition, hopefully that we could also talk to small cities about this, but we noticed 3 things. Number one, we saw that there are committees already set up now to talk about the various elements of the coronavirus and the funding. Therefore, we would request that cities be involved in these committees and have somebody appointed to the committees. We don't know how they're going to act or when they're going to meet, but I think the coordination is extremely important from a standpoint of cities and what we're facing in our cities and, of course, the county altogether. More specifically, as it relates to the hospital matters, we did ask for a budget. What was the hospital particular needs? We understand some of the hospitals haven't even prepared that, but we would think that that would be an appropriate thing to ask for and take a look at as to what the funds will be paid for in the hospitals. We understand certainly the needs, but I think some of the hospitals even haven't prepared their requests except for asking for funding. We think that would be important to discuss. The third thing is we are under the understanding that in the negotiations relating to what the cities got and didn't get, that anything between 114 per capita and 132 would be put into fund for the cities to make a determination as to need later on. We think that the hospital funding should be coming out of the 132 to 175 monies. That's really a contingency that we didn't predict at this point. Certainly when we talked about the different funding levels for cities and counties, we didn't know we'd have this situation, the serious situation we have. It doesn't mean that we don't want to help the hospitals. We think that's very important. But I think talking with them and also looking for alternatives for patient care. We've been working with the state on hotel spaces. We understand the county may have too. We need to be coordinated from that standpoint. And lastly, I want to say that, contact tracing is very important to us. We already have almost 200 employees in the city of McAllen that are out on various leaves relating to the coronavirus, and coordination with contact tracing and funding is very important, but I don't think we should do it in silos. The last thing we want to do is attack this virus in silos between city and the county. We want to be part of the team. I think that's important, and that's a two-way street, and that's really what we're asking. We'll be glad to coordinate meetings between various cities, including the small cities, in my position on the Council of Governments, to coordinate that. But let's act as a team and attack this virus for the good of our people. And lastly, I could say is we need to do something about testing. I've had so many people call me this week that have serious conditions that can't get tested. They have to make decisions about self-quarantine at their home, if they have an elder relative, whether they're even going to go home, and those kind of things. And so I know you have trouble with testing, but we got to act together in getting this testing module finished instead of mass testing of everybody. We need to concentrate on the people that's affecting their day-to-day lives. Well, I hope that I don't get more than 3 minutes next time I talk to you. We have a meeting. I appreciate what you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Some people are special.
Okay, item 6A.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Sylvia Solis with the District Attorney's Office. I have DA Border Prosecution Unit Grant BPU Fund 1281. Number 1, approval to accept the Region 3 Border Prosecution Unit's supplemental grant in the amount of $619,859 effective 9/1/2019 through 8/31/2021. Number 2, approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor for the fiscal year 2020 Region 3 Border Prosecution Unit grant funds in the amount of $619,859 and appropriation of the same.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank
Motion
you.
carried. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
7A.
Item 7A, Daniel Salinas reporting for the IT department. Authorization and approval to purchase new wireless devices with service plans through the county's membership participation with contract DIR TSO 3415 with Verizon Wireless. Total of 20 items, 10 for the county judge and 10 for precinct 3.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Item 8A.
Item 8A, Raul Salguero here for Human Resources. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 8A reads, requesting a waiver of the following, if applicable, for personnel items that are listed. Number 1, Civil Service Commission Rules, Section 3.22. Hidalgo County Personnel Policy Manual, Section 6.27. And number 3, Budget Amendment Policy, Personnel-Related Amendments. We need approval of the waivers.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, item 8B, we have some positions that will be that we're asking approval to create that are new. So we need to add the titles and the job descriptions to the classification list. So number B is classification and compensation plan.
I scratch my eyes so I clean my hands and I got the Kleenex.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Classification and compensation plan. Approval to add the following position titles to the classified position list. Add immunization specialist at a grade 6 and add COVID-19 clerk 1, grade 10.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 8B2, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. There's a correction there. The effective date would be 7/20/20. 7/20/2020. And the action is to change some titles, except for the first one, slot. These people have, or these positions have 2 slots because they're paid from 2 different funds. The first one is no action, slot 71 and 9. No action on that, but the 4 that remain, we're changing the titles, same grade, a more appropriate title, correct title, from outreach specialist 2, grade 6, to immunization specialist, same grade, grade 6. Those are for the 4 that are listed after the first one.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Number C, 8C is for the health department. It's for a grant. This is a clarification. There was a timing issue based on the grant removal when we have an incorrect slot number. So the item is approval of clarification to agenda number 75970. For the record, slot number T001. The correct slot number should be T022.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 8D for the Community Service Agency. Judge, Commissioners, we currently, under the current environment, we have 2 types of time-limited positions. We have regular temporary positions that we normally approve or hire for 6 months or less, and we're currently also filling some jobs that are grant time limited. They're not temporary, but they're grant time limited. There was some miscommunication between the Community Service Agency and our office with regard to the correction, to the correct title. So this action is asking approval to rescind the action taken on item 76116. It's a correction to a correction. The positions were initially created as temporaries. Subsequently, they were changed to time limited, but they should have been temporaries after we clarified that with the department.
Move for approval?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item E for the Elections Department. This is in accordance with our classification plan. Approval to award discretionary step 2 to employee number 239887, System Support Specialist 3, after approval of HR criteria certification in accordance with section 8.03 of the classification and compensation plan effective next full pay period. This is in accordance with the plan, and the position meets the criteria for the discretionary step. We recommend approval.
Approval. Second.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. Item F, this is the program says CARES Act Relief Fund. This is going to be, we're going to request to make this item subject to funding. We would need to come back to court with an agenda item relating to the briefing for and the justification. So this is going to be, we're going to create, the court approved the creation of certain positions. The first one is the item reads approval to create the following time-limited positions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval, and these would be under the Department of Budget and Management and the county judge. We will come back next week to clarify the funding, which we mean that it should be out of the CARES Act Relief Fund. The first item is create COVID-19 clerk ones, slots 001 through 0028. These are 28 medical clerks types that will be used in different county locations to do some medical screening. And those are 28 that the court directed last week. The other two are at the judge's office. It's a Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator 2, grade 13, and an Administrative Assistant 4, grade 10. So these are 28 clerk ones, and the other two listed positions subject to funding. So we will recommend approval subject to funding.
Who is receiving these clerk positions?
They're going to be assigned kind of, Commissioner, like we did the hurricane truck driver positions, where we created and then we assign them to the precincts as needed.
No, Mr. Siguero, aren't these the ones for the tax office, WIC, and the courthouse?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
It's the ones we talked about last week. And they're not medical clerks, they're just clerks.
No, they're clerks. They're going to be doing medical screenings. What I mean, they're going to be doing temperatures at the county clerk's office, at the courthouse, wherever we have a high traffic people.
Yeah, I remember that thing. Thank you. Move for approval.
Second.
We're gonna take no action on the interdepartmental transfer.
If you don't mind, may I call for the question? We have a motion and a second. We haven't voted. Okay. We have a motion to approve. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll take no action on item 2 because we'll come back on the funding next week. Item G for the Sheriff's Office, approval of the following personnel action effective next full pay period. The Sheriff is asking that we add supplemental allowance and clothing allowance to slot number 0116, Deputy Sheriff. The supplemental allowance, it's assignment pay in the amount of $1,800. The clothing allowance in the amount of $500. We recommend approval.
Have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And related to that, number 2 is approval to increase the crime prevention officer level 1 assignment pay from 4 to 6 slots.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all I had at this time, Judge. Thank you very much, Judge. and
Thank you very much,
Commissioners.
Mr.
Thank you,
Rivera.
sir.
Urban County, 9A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. P.R. Avila with the Urban County Program. For 9A, consideration and approval of the 3-year cooperation agreements with each participating city for fiscal years 2021 through 2023, necessary for the requalification of Hidalgo County as an urban county for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Program.
For approval.
Second.
Yeah, motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Next item. Ten A.
Mr. Olivares, are you on the line, sir? Mr. Olivares.
Let's go to 11A. We'll come back to that.
Yes, sir.
11A, discussion, consideration, and approval to appoint 2 new board members to a 1-year term to the Hidalgo County Emergency Service District Number 4, pursuant to the Texas Health and Safety Code Section 775.034. And I wanted to appoint Javier Alanis and Mentor Cantu.
Move for approval.
Second.
There's a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Judge, can we go back to item 9? We only had 1 aye. Everyone else was muted. Or 2 ayes, you and Commissioner Torres.
Okay. We're going to go back to number 9A. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor say aye.
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 Sorry, I had somebody that came in my office.
Yeah, motion carries unanimously. Okay, we're back to item 12A, I believe.
Morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Armin Garza, Precinct 3, Commissioner Flores' office. Item 12A, requesting approval to accept counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as Parcel 28 associated with Veterans Boulevard project with the authority for county judge to sign administrative evaluation and approval form.
Move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 13A.
Mr. Cruz, are you on the line?
I'm on the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
No, if you wouldn't mind turning on the camera. Item 13A. Senate Department of Budget Management. Item 13A, A1 is discussion, consideration, and action to approve the ratification of necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditures as listed on Exhibit A, totaling $984,959.58 to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation in connection with the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
So moved.
Second.
Hey, these are the funds that are being paid out of general fund that went for COVID, basically.
Yes, Judge, and some of them were already, we have created the purchase orders under Fund 1287. We just need approval and concurrence from the court that these are CARES eligible so that we can have the auditors pay that from Fund 1287.
So actually, to pay them, but they, all right.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 13A2 is approval of the interdepartmental transfer.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 13B is approval of 2020 unappropriation of funds for various special revenue funds as listed on the agenda due to revised revenue estimates by the county auditor and or to cover deficits in the unassigned fund balances as indicated on the agenda. Like I have approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I heard somebody maybe say something. Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you,
Judge.
Mr.
Judge, Commissioners, I've not been able to get a hold of the Health Department, but if I may.
I'm right here, Mr. Guerra. I'm here.
Oh, my apologies. Okay, Mr. Olivares, if you could please present item 10A, the Zika Healthcare Service Grant Contract.
Yes, sir. Under 10A, requesting approval to accept the Zika Healthcare Service Contract HHS 0000596-00001. Amendment number 4, to have county judge sign the amendment and related documents. The purpose of the amendment is to decrease health resources and services through HRSA funding. That's item number 1.
Approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Requesting, number 2 is requesting to approve to de-obligate the amount of $67,253.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
That's all my items today, sir.
Thank you, sir. I believe
Item 14A, Purchasing Department. A1 is presentation for award and contract to sole qualified vendor meeting all specifications with Terracycle Incorporated for biohazardous medical waste disposal, services, and supplies.
Move for approval.
With anything that's required.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2 is A, discussion, consideration, action to approve a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for architectural or engineering services for the automatic door at main and secondary entrances countywide project in order to assist with county public health expenses addressing the ongoing COVID public health emergency. The court, having received the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
And is required by government code, I believe. That's what you've told.
Yes, sir.
So move.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is presentation of Hidalgo County's approved pools of architects and or engineers. In this case, I'm going to be recommending engineers. For Hidalgo County Commissioners Court nomination of at least 3 firms for the purpose of selection, the selection protocols, that's to nominate, select, evaluation committee, present scoring, to rank and authorize negotiations for engagement in connection with the above mentioned project. In this case, I believe that the engineering discipline is more appropriate for this improvement to the doors countywide. So I would ask, you all did get attached to the agenda, the engineering pool, if you would proceed to nominate at least 3.
You talking mechanical though?
You're talking either electrical or MEP would be your best bet because we're going to be discussing, these are all motors that are all low voltage are going to still require electricity to them and in the mechanics of those items.
Marty, did Oscar say mechanical or structural? Or did he say anything?
No, he didn't. He knows that it's an engineer, but he did not That's my recommendation is an MEP, but only because of the electrical component.
Okay.
Nominate Alpha Infrastructure.
Which one?
Alpha. They have structural, MEP, and mechanical.
Okay.
We need 3, Marty?
Yes, sir, at least 3.
Half. There's not a lot of MEPs. Half.
Half.
Okay. One more.
I'll nominate Strata.
Thank you, Commissioner. Those are your 3. Could we have action?
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C is designation of an evaluation committee along with any alternates you choose to include, with everyone so busy with this pandemic situation, to score and grade the nominated firms above. Judge?
I'll have the chief.
And a backup?
Hilda.
Yes, I'll do it.
Commissioner David?
Chief Mayor.
Okay. Any backup, Commissioner?
Amy Science Smith.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Commissioner Eddie?
Me, Mando.
Any alternate?
Yeah.
Commissioner Flores?
Hermin Garza and Sarah Vela.
Last but not least, Commissioner Ali.
Yes, Belinda Reyes and Letty Science is backup.
Thank you so much. Could I have action?
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 is consideration and approval to order emergency fuel cards with State Fuel Card Program contractor U.S. Bank to be utilized during emergency situations and rental vehicles as needed from the state program contractor EM Holding. All fuel cards will be held at the purchasing department with details and other controls under background that's on the agenda, and then a written release requested through the executive officer.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is for Health and Human Services Department. A is discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover the estimated costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by line item, allotment, or allocation for the electronic medical records and the implementation of the migration and supplies in order to assist with public health expenses addressing the ongoing COVID public health emergency. The court, having received the agenda briefing, herein finds that the expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is exemption from competitive bidding requirement pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262-024A1 as listed on the agenda 1 and 2. Could I have action?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is the restatement and or ratification of a regular agenda item 75-841, Commissioners Court of June 30th, authority to accept and approve the quote master agreement and mutual non-disclosure agreement from vendor NetSmart for an electronic medical record system in the amount of $366,440.52. and it's detailed on what migration is and software is, including the execution of the documents by the county judge.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item 2A is discussion, consideration, and approval of a necessary CARES Act relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by a line item allotment or allocation for the purchase of cappers, those are helmet units, air purifying systems, and accessories in order to assist with the county functions related to the medical and public health expenditures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262-024A 1, 2, and 7 attached herein.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C is requesting approval to purchase the helmet units called cappers, air purifying systems, and accessories through the sole distributor Biomedical Devices International in the total amount of $54,587, and that should be 61 cents, not 70, subject to compliance with Form 1295.
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item C1 for the Sheriff's Office, at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office requests action to rescind the action taken by Commissioners Court on May the 5th, 2020, regular agenda items 75-367 in connection with an interlocal cooperation agreement with the City of Progreso.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item B is pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 263-152, discussion and approval to declare as surplus law enforcement equipment as listed in Exhibit A contained herein, with including authority to remove said personal property from the Hidalgo County Sheriff's inventory list.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 791-001 through .79, 0033, 2 and 3, requesting approval for an interlocal cooperation agreement between Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office and the City of Progreso for the mutual benefit and assistance in connection with surplus law enforcement equipment and accessories, and approved as to form by legal counsel.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
2, requesting approval of supplemental agreement number 1 to work authorization number 3 for contract number as posted on the agenda with LNG Consulting Engineers for the construction of a bus barn for Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office to include construction materials testing in the amount of $5,509.18.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item D1, this is under County Judge's Office, Emergency Management. A, discussion, consideration, and action to approve a necessary CARES Act fund relief fund expenditure to cover costs not accounted for in the current budget and cannot be lawfully funded by a line item allotment or allocation for architectural services in the renovation or remodeling of 2 buildings or conversion and expansion of an emergency operations and call centers in order to assist with county actions to facilitate compliance with public health measures addressing the ongoing COVID-19 public health emergency. The court, having reviewed the agenda item briefing, herein finds that such expenditure is reasonable and necessary for the intended use.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is pursuant to Article 3 of the current services agreement with Reich, Ogden, Figueroa, Alex Architects Incorporated. Through Precinct 4's contract as stated on the agenda, approval to request a proposal for services and proceed to negotiate a project-specific AIA 201-207 form of agreement to develop and draft plans and specifications of work for distribution to job order contractors for the renovation and remodeling of the 2 county-owned buildings for the conversion and expansion of the emergency operations and call centers for the Office of Emergency Management.
So is it B or C, Marty?
It's B or C. I'm giving you, if you don't go with B, you could nominate architectural firms. You'd have to nominate and the protocol that we usually use.
Judge, did you want to use ROFA?
Yes.
And this would speed up the process as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am, it would. We wouldn't take, we would probably shave off 2 commissioners' points.
Move for approval?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Then there will be no action on C. And we go to D, designation of evaluation committee to score and evaluate the I'm sorry, we don't even go do to D, I'm sorry. Going on, that's all I have then.
Thank you, Marty.
So Marty, for the record, D is no action, correct?
No action on C or D.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, if I may, item 15A, 1 and 2, there is no action to be taken this week. Item 15B, we have appointment of member to the Hidalgo County Housing Authority Board by Precinct 3. Commissioner Flores.
The same one, Henry Rodriguez. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Henry Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
Move for approval?
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
He's the one that was there last year, right? Monday.
I believe he's on the list or on the board. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Judge, item 16, I will delay after executive
closed session.
Or closed session. Yes, my apologies.
Okay.
Judge, real briefly, I apologize for the interruption. I would like to go back to agenda item 7A. It's my understanding that there was an auditor concern regarding the funding requisition for the Precinct 3 IT items. We'd recommend that the record reflect that item as it relates to Precinct 3 was subject to funding. If their intent was to use CARES Act funding, they'd need to submit an agenda brief for the court's consideration.
Do we have to go back and amend that action?
Yes, Judge, that's what I'm asking you that you do.
Okay. Can I have such a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Counselor. Okay. Pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.087. We will be going into closed session to discuss those items. Any action to be taken will be taken in open session when we return. I have a motion to retire to closed session.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going into closed session. Okay, we're back from executive session, and I believe we do have some action items.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. Item 19, open session, real estate acquisition appropriation percent. Judge, I will proceed as directed. Item B, under open session, pending and or potential litigation, there is no action to be taken. Item C, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding response to public health emergency. Judge, Commissioners, I will refer back to item 16 in a minute for that. Item D, claim of Eduveges Garza Moreno. Judge, Commissioners, I'd like Settlement Authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,470.68.
Move for approval.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I'd like to first take up back on regular agenda item 18A and 18B. For the record, there is no action under item 18A, and there is no action to be taken under item 18B. Then I will go back to item 16, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding A, county response to disaster health emergency CARES Act funds. At this time, there is no action to be taken. If I may move on to item B, measures necessary to preserve public health and safety. Judge, I don't know if you want to say a few words with respect to what we have been, the message that we've been trying to get out or getting out to the general public, our constituents, about only wearing facial coverings while in town, staying home unless absolutely necessary to go into town for a necessary trip.
Well, you did a fine job already.
Okay, okay, Judge.
Well, obviously, you know, this situation is anything but worthy of anybody smiling, because we are in a very, very serious situation. As you all know, we keep getting more and more people testing positive for this. We're having more and more people enter our hospitals, having more people being sicker than in the past. So we really do have a problem, but there is a solution, and the solution is something as simple as wearing facial covering. According to the CDC, eliminates 70% of the possibility of someone, you know, contracting this virus. So we ask you to take all those precautions. I mean, to please be conscious of yourself, to protect yourself and protect others that you're around. And we're going to come out ahead of this. We're doing everything we can, believe me, you know, to put you in the most safe position that we can, but we can't do it without your help. So for that, we ask you for your help to do that. Anything else?
Thank you, Judge. Yes, sir. And the last one is item 16C, direction regarding county government operations, including but not limited to essential functions. Judge, as I've reported week in and week out during this pandemic, we are taking all the necessary steps to preserve and protect the general constituency, our public, when visiting county offices, as well as doing what we do to also protect the well-being and safety of our county employees. I'll just as a friendly reminder, when visiting any of our county offices, we are required to wear a facial covering and respect social distancing with respect to any type of business to be conducted at our county facilities. The same goes, Judge, Commissioners, and for the general public, the same goes with our employees. They are also required to wear facial covering if they're not in an area by themselves, and they are also required to take measures, social distancing, while at the workplace. Judge, Commissioners, with that being said, there is no need to go back into close, so there's no action on item 20 or item 21. We have adjournment, and thereafter we have a workshop.
Okay, well, that concludes all of our agenda items. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.